it like being back here in Rochester?
Oh man, it's crazy. Like honestly, every day for the past 2 weeks, I've been waking up feeling like Christmas is coming. I can't even put it into words. It's like I can't even hide my smile if I wanted to. Like, like every time somebody brings up how you feel fighting in Rochester, I just like get a huge smile on my face. Like, I wasn't kidding when I said last fight I would fight here for free. I really would. Like, man, these guys deserve it. I've gotten so much love from the town since I started. It's an honor. Like, a dream is an understatement. It's a fantasy. So, Blue Cross, I'm like, man, thank God I'm here.
What are your expectations for Saturday, knowing, this is your home soil?
My expectations is to bring it, bring so much energy. I know for a fact, like, not to sound conceited, but there's no way in the world this guy's gonna be able to match my energy. I don't care, like, I know he's got 9 finishes, but it's not even I'm gonna be getting a finish. There's no way he's gonna be able to match this energy. Like, when I hear these guys chant my name, which they will be doing, it's just gonna be like, man, a whole new world. I could be dog tired, bleeding out of every hole in my body. If I hear that chant, man, it's like me taking a Zenzu bean and getting right back at it. Dragon Ball Z reference if y'all don't know.
Where in Rochester did you grow up, and what did you do before UFC and you begun your fighting career?
So I grew up right here in Rush, Henrietta, 15 minutes from here. I went to school at RH, and before I got into like the whole fighting thing, I was always in sports. I started football when I was really young. I played football, wrestling, and lacrosse, and wrestling was like my basis of wanting to do MMA. I was really good at wrestling. I was growing up in the inner city. I used to always fight with my cousins, so I knew how to fight. I already knew how to wrestle, and I got heart, so I was like, man, this could be something I could do for a living.
You fought in a bunch of different promotions, but this is a big fight for you in the UFC. To know that this major moment in your career is happening in your backyard, I mean, what does that all mean to you?
Oh man, it means so much. Like, it means so much that I can't even explain it. Like, this literally is everything. Like, man, if I never fought again, I would be okay with fighting here in Rochester. It's like, you know what I mean, it won't be, but I'm just saying, like, this, everything I've done in the past 5 years has no comparison to this moment that's gonna happen Saturday night. Like, I put so much energy into this. My whole life, I just wanted to, represent my hometown, represent my family, and now I have a chance to do it on the largest stage ever. So, like, you better believe I'm taking full advantage of it, like full advantage.
You've seen the progress of MMA in the state of New York. I mean, did you ever think a night like Saturday would happen? The fact that the sport has gone through so much. Yeah, well,
and that's another thing. With MMA getting so far and progressing so far, where it used to be illegal here, me being from here, every time I've got like almost 30 professional fights. I fought in out the country over 10 times. I've been in Russia, I've been in Brazil, I've been in Canada, you know what I mean? I've been in Amsterdam, the list goes on. I'm always that villain coming into somebody's home, somebody's territory, having to beat the hometown guy. Like, this is finally my chance to be like the hometown hero. And I'm just soaking it up. Like, my mom asked me how I was doing today. I told her, I'm soaking it all up, man. I'm living in the moment, I'm taking it all in.
Could you ever understand why New York wouldn't legalize it? It took 20 years to legalize it. It must have been really frustrating.
Yeah, it was super frustrating. I'm like, how is New York not legalizing MMA? I mean, at one point we had Rashad Evans, who's from New York, as a champion. We had John Jones from New York as a champion. We had Chris Weidman from New York as a champion. New York is like known for fighters, and like, you know what I mean? So I couldn't figure out for the life of me why it wasn't legal here, but I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. And right when I came on the scene and started to come into my own self, it got legal here. So, what better time than the present?
How much trouble were the matchmakers going to be in with you if they didn't put you on the show?
Oh man, like it's funny. I was just talking to somebody earlier about it. So after the fight, Sean Shelby called my manager and told him, like, hey, listen, I'm sorry, we're not gonna be able to put him on the card. This is like 2 weeks after the March 30th fight, and they're like, sorry, we're not gonna be able to put him on the card. And like, man, to say I was heartbroken was an understatement. I was so mad. I contemplated on getting on social media and telling people don't come to the fight. I hate to say this now. I can say this now because I didn't do it, number one, and number two, I'm on the card. But I contemplated on telling people I'm like boycotting it. But then I'm like, I'm new to the UFC. I don't got that much pull. That might not go too well. So then I was like, all right, I'm gonna get everybody to blow up Dana White and Sean Shelby's emails and like put them on the card. But then I'm like, that might not get me where I want either. You know, if they already told me no, it's kind of like a cheat move going behind their back and getting everybody to beg them. So, you know, I just stayed faithful. I stayed humble. I stayed in the gym. My mom told me she had a dream that I was still going to get on the card. After they told me I wasn't. And lo and behold, like a week later, on Good Friday, I'm real religious. On Good Friday, I got the call and they said, we don't know who your opponent is, but we're going to put you on that card. And I think had I went that route that I wanted to go, I definitely wouldn't have been on this card, and I might have been on the sideline for a couple months after that. On top of that, so you know, I was really upset, but I was trying to be a good sport and a team player. Cause I'm like, with me, if you look at my career, bro, I fought 2 guys that came in 5 pounds overweight in their home country, in 2 of the roughest countries, in Brazil and Russia, and I still took those fights. So I had a feeling that they were going to reward me. If it wasn't going to be now, it was going to be later, and I'm just glad everything worked out and they found an opponent for me.
The atmosphere here on Saturday, what are you expecting?
Oh, it's gonna be crazy. I don't know if whoever came to the Buffalo fight, if you guys remember that roar they gave me when I came out in Buffalo, that's gonna be times 10 because that was number 1, that was my UFC debut. So my buzz was big, but it wasn't as big as it is now. And man, this is the Blue Cross. Like, I grew up literally, my house is 10 minutes from here, you know what I mean, since a kid. So I'm gonna have so many people. I got like 5 suites that's all for me. And the suites are like 50 people a person. I got at least 50 to 100 of my boys sent me screenshots of front row tickets. Like, man, I got my grandma flying in from Virginia. I got my aunts coming in from Maryland. I got cousins that's not my cousin that say they're my cousins coming in. And I'm like, yeah, sure, come on in, cousin. I got a lot of people coming, man.
Being back.
Did you know of any? Did you ever do any amateur MMA? Did you know of any underground MMA that was going on that was dangerous until it was regulated?
No, I didn't really. You know, I was really tied up in my college career up until 2012. So, you know, I knew I always wanted to do the MMA, but I had no direction or didn't know where I was going until I kind of pretty much finished college as far as with the MMA career.
Is there a message that you have for maybe some of the kids who are in the area that are looking to you for this weekend?
Yeah, I just want to tell them to chase their dream. You know, like being from Rochester, I think we only have like maybe 1 or 2 professional athletes at that, and like especially with the UFC, I think something like 2 or 3% of fighters actually make it to the UFC. But I never let that deter me. It took me 5 years, almost 25 fights. I mean, 25 fights is some guy's whole career. You know, and it took me 25 just to get here. And you know, I just want to tell all the kids, you know, never give up. I went to do a talk at one of the inner city schools, at 45 school today, a bunch of 7th and 8th graders, and you know, I was preaching to them. I'm like, you know, never give up and just always have self-belief. Even some of my friends, you know, my 3rd, 4th, 5th year in, they're like, hey, you know, are you sure you're gonna get there? Are you sure this is what you want to do? And if it would have took me another 5 years, it's all worth it for this moment right here.
You did get your degree, right? What did you learn?
Yeah, so I got my degree in health and human services, and you know, a big shout out to my mom because I was like my sophomore year, junior year, I was ready to just drop out of college and start fighting then, but she's like, nah, baby, you got to have a fallback plan. So she kind of forced me to stick it out. And I got my bachelor's in health and human services, minor in coaching, but you know, now I'm here, so hopefully I won't have to use that degree.
Will she be here on Saturday?
Yeah, she'll be here. She'll be here with my kids, everybody. It's gonna be nice, man. They flying in tomorrow. I actually just moved her to Florida, so she's coming from Florida, and she's excited. Yeah.
When does she get here?
She gets here tomorrow. Yeah, they get here tomorrow afternoon. Her and the kids come. She's been in Florida. She's been in Florida for 5 months, so this will be her first time back. You know, I still got my aunts and everybody here, so they're excited to have my mom back and everything. So it's gonna be fun.
You doing a garbage plate while you're home?
Oh man, but Sunday I'm hitting up Nick Tahoe and Henrietta Hotz. It's funny, I showed my teammate Luke Vicente, him and Gilbert Durino. Last week I showed them, because they were both gonna be here, I showed them a picture of a garbage plate. And they're like, ew, what is that? I'm like, don't you? I don't want to hear nothing until I take you guys to Nick Tahoe, eat the plate, and then you tell me how you like it. I'm like, you might not like it the next day in your stomach, but you'll enjoy it for the moment while you're eating it. They're like, no, that doesn't look good. I'm like, bro, you can't look at it with your eyes. Don't judge it until you try it.